Oh, hey, sweetie. Sorry, I didn't realize you were there. Yeah, absolutely. Come sit down. What's up? Oh, I would love to, my love. Yeah, I just gotta finish my Bible study first. Oh, I'm in Ezekiel right now. Chapter 37, actually, the Valley of Dry Bones. It's when God raises an army from the dead. Uh, zombies? Kind of, but not really. It's actually a really awesome and I feel important Bible story, but nobody really talks about it. I don't want to scare the kids or anything. It's kind of silly, actually, that really awesome things like this people don't know about. It was kind of cool, though. Um, I actually recalled this story one time when I was playing a game. It was just me and this one other person, and we were working on some achievements and stuff, and they just randomly they said, "Hey, are you religious? Like, by any chance?" And I was like, yeah, actually. I'm Christian." And they're like, "Can you tell me about the Bible?" And I was like, "What do you want to know?" And they asked, they're like, are there like zombies and stuff in the Bible or dinosaurs? And so I told them a few things, and well, what I knew, of course, I said I don't know everything, because I don't. I haven't studied the Bible or anything. I mean, I've read through the Bible, and I read the Bible every night, and I talk to God and that kind of stuff, but I haven't, like, studied the Bible, like, gone to school for it and stuff, you know? But, yeah, after that, they added me on Discord, and we've been talking ever since. It's kind of cool, actually. Not sure if anything I've said has resonated with them, but they keep asking questions, so it's good. Uh, oh, yeah, absolutely, I can read to you. I was just gonna read the part about the dry bones. I wasn't gonna read the whole chapter, because it, it's actually pretty long, and I'm kind of sleepy, so. Yeah, of course. Let me just look something up. I believe we're reading from Ezekiel's point of view right now. But anyway, it's Ezekiel 37. It'll be verses 1 through 14, it looks like. So if you wanted to just follow along, you could just kind of peer over my shoulder if you wanted, or whatever. The Valley of Dry Bones. The hand of the Lord was on me, and he brought me out of the Spirit of the Lord and set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley, bones that were very dry. He asked me, "Son of man, can these bones live?" I said, "Sovereign Lord, you alone know." I'm going to pause there for a second. I like to break it up and think about it and talk about it to myself. One thing that I find really interesting is that these bones, they hadn't been touched. Back in biblical times, burying people was kind of a big deal. Everybody talked about it, or not talked about it, but everybody did it. If you killed somebody, you buried them, or if somebody died, you buried them. So the fact that these bones were just chilling on the ground probably shows that this wasn't the safest of place. And God asks Ezekiel, he's like, "Can these bones live?" And Ezekiel's like, "Man, I don't know. I mean, you would know. You're God." So I think that's kind of a cool response. He has these conversations with God. People feel like God only talks in whispers and all these different kind of stuff, but I really think you just have to slow down and give yourself time to listen to him. But anyway, enough of that. Then he said to me, "Prophesy to these bones and say to them, 'Dry bones, hear that the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you, and make flesh come upon you, and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord.' So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together bone to bone. I looked, and tendon and flesh appeared on them, and skin covered them, but there was no breath in them. I'm gonna pause again. So, skin and tendons and bodies started to form around these bones, but they weren't necessarily alive yet. They couldn't breathe just yet. But then, pardon me. Yeah, I'm pretty sleepy. Reading always tires me out. But it says, "Then he said to me, prophesy to the breath, prophesy, son of man, and say to it, this is what the sovereign Lord says, come, breathe from the four winds, and breathe into these slain, and they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath entered them. They came to life and stood up on their feet, a vast army. Then he said to me, Son of man, these bones are the people of Israel. They say, our bones are dried up, and our hope is gone. We are cut off. Therefore prophesy and say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. My people, I am going to open your graves and bring you up from them. I will bring you back to the land of Israel. Then you, my people, will know that I am the Lord. When I open your graves and bring you up from them, I will put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will settle you in your own land. Then you will know that I, the Lord, have spoken, and I have done it, declares the Lord." And that's where it ends. Sometimes I have these little, notes that can summarize it, and Um, I read that, and then I talk about it a little bit to myself. But I really like this story. It's probably one of my favorites in the Bible, mainly because it's just so unknown. Of course, I I don't know everything, and I'm not going to pretend that I do. There's something about that story that I really enjoy. And, it just kind of goes to show God's power. He raised an entire army from the dead, and he commanded that they have life in them, and they breathed, and they walked around, and he talked to them. He talked to Ezekiel. And everyone says, oh, God doesn't do that stuff anymore. Yeah, he does. You're just not giving him a chance. And, the Bible is only the stories that are recorded. Imagine how many awesome things Jesus did that we never got to hear about because nobody just talked about it. Like, I don't know, it's so crazy to me. God can do so many incredible, magical, miraculous things, and no, maybe he doesn't always do them the way we want him to, but he can do them. He does them when they're needed and when it's important. I know, it's kind of silly sometimes how we doubt him. Kind of sad, too. Yeah. Well, I guess not everything can be a miracle, but it does help. Yeah, you're right. I really do think it's crazy, though, the power that he has. Everyone's like, well, yeah, he's God, but do you realize how often we don't think about that? He's God. Like, he made the entire universe. And we feel like we can't trust him with financial issues? Like, he created the trees that we make our money out of. And yet, we still doubt him. He's constantly asking, why don't you trust me? That's why I like this story so much. Because God tells this guy, hey, do you think these things can exist? Do you think they can breathe and walk again? So I guess in a way he kind of tests Ezekiel. And Ezekiel was like, God, I mean, you're the only one that would know. So I guess so. And God's like, okay, we'll tell them to walk around. Tell them I'm gonna put tendons and flesh on them and skin. And Ezekiel was like, man, okay, I can't really stop you. And it worked. And then God was like, tell them to breathe. Call on the winds, give them breath, make them breathe. And he used Ezekiel to do that. So, I mean, he walked on water, he's raised other people from the dead, let alone himself, his son. And I think we just need to be a little bit better about trusting him. It's like trusting our parents when we get taught to jump into the pool or how to swim. We have to be scared before we can be brave. And I think that's really neat. You know, you have to go through hard things before you can trust. And I guess the moral of that is, if God can do all those incredible things, imagine what he can do for us. For you. For me. I mean, he gave me you after all. Oh, well, that was good. Deep. It's a good story. I really like it. Maybe I'll do more research on it later on. Learn some more. Could never hurt, right? Yeah. And another thing, I'm learning new stuff about him every time I read. Like, the other day, I was just having a really bad day. I mean, I've been hormonal and I'm a woman and all that kind of stuff, but I was just having a really bad day. And someone had messaged me something. I think it was a TikTok or something. And it said, it's okay to cry. Jesus did too. And it's just kind of crazy how we can feel like our problems down here are so insignificant to God. So little that he's not gonna care when we are the reason that he sent his son down here. To save us individually by name. And I feel like I can't let him help me through a hard day because it's not worth his time. Time is irrelevant to God. One day to us could be hours for him. Minutes, seconds. A year for us could be a second. 400 years could be 4 billion for us. He's just, he's so cool. But you're right. It is getting late, and I am quite tired. I can feel my body a little achy. So I guess sleep is due. But ending the night with God and you is probably the best way I could end any night I've ever lived. Now, I am going to change into my jammies. If you want to get in the bed and make up my little nest. You know how I like my pillows. And we can get some shut-eye. Because I really need it. I know you mentioned games, Sweet Pea, but I'm just... After that, I'm really tired. So, if you wouldn't mind... Thank you, my darling. I love you so much. Alright, all snuggled in. Oh, don't forget to pray, darling. I'm sure he misses you. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Today was good.